Hey, what's up, guys? This is a longer review, more rambly review of Regulation 19 by P.T. Hylton. I made a mini review, and I also made a first impressions video of this book as well. If you're interested in those, check those out. The first impression video, uh, it's the first 100 pages, and it basically covers what's done in the first 100 pages. The main spoiler, though, at the end of the 100 pages isn't talked about that much. Or not at all, actually. Um, yeah, so I enjoyed this. I gave it a 3 out of 5. If you watched the mini review, you kind of know how I feel about it. Um, so it's like a what in the world is going on type of book. Small town, very mysterious. Lots of different genres mixed together: sci-fi, fantasy, thriller, mystery. All those put together into a 316-page book. And P.T. Hylton is a booktuber, and he's a cool guy. And so I got this last year, and I really liked it. It had a lot of mystery, and I love mystery, and I just want to figure everything out. And so that's what caused me to keep on reading. I just wanted to figure out everything in this little town. So it's about this guy named Frank. He gets released from jail, and he needs to find his brother Jake. He's released on the terms that he needs to find his brother Jake, because I guess Jake did something bad. So he needs to go find him. The town is super weird. They have this like cult dude named Zed that basically runs the town, and it's just he's a creep. And they have these regulations where you'll have to punish people if you see them breaking a regulation. So the biggest regulation is you can't leave the town. If you leave the town, you get killed. Basically, it's a death sentence. And it's just an interesting premise. Basically, this town is isolated at the moment, and they have to survive on their own. And by doing that, this Zed guy has control over everybody, because he basically saves the town. And so he's like this town's messiah, but he is not a good guy. And it's just a very fun book, plot-centered, has a lot of connections with characters. I really liked the friends in this book. It really reminded me of Stephen King's It, with the friendships between the characters. We have Frank's brother Jake, Christine. Christine is Jake's wife. Will, which is now Christine's new husband. Wendy, who is Frank's ex, and Trevor, who is Jake's and Christine's son. And there's just a lot of different connections between the characters, and I really like that because it's very depth oriented with the characters, and I like that. There's connections between all of them, and they all seem like they get along, and they're all friends. And so that's why it reminds me of Stephen King's books a little bit. There's like a core group of individuals that are friends and drive this book forward. And they're just kind of trying to figure out stuff about this town, putting the pieces together, trying to find Jake, who has been missing for like 8 years. And it's just a lot of fun, and there are horror elements in it. I don't want to spoil anything, but there are horror elements in it. There are science fiction elements, fantasy elements. There are things where you really have to suspend your belief. Some of the things you just have to accept for what they are. Okay, so, something has some type of magical power. You just kind of have to accept that that thing has that magical power. It's not really explained into detail, but there are 2 books after this, and I think that the other 2 books will explain a lot that really I had to just believe on faith with this book. But if that type of thing bothers you, then you might not like that part of this book. Also, Hylton writes very plot-focused books, and his novellas are getting much better with this in regards to this. But there's not much theme or scenes with depth or emotion between the characters. It's all about moving the story forward. And I'm a big story and plot guy, so that's why I enjoy this so much. But if you're looking for something that's going to make you think about relationships, or think about a theme, or connect to you as far as the characters and stuff in an emotional way, it's probably not going to be this is all about the ride, the plot, the fun, the brisk pace, and it's just a good time. Things that I've read like it. Peter Klein's work is very similar in the way it's written. I thought that it reminds me of like Twin Peaks, old TV show. It reminded me of Jericho, the TV show. It reminded me of Lost a little bit. It reminded me of Wayward Pines. It reminded me of those Stephen King miniseries based off his books back in the early or late 80s and early 90s, things like Needful Things, Salem, things like that. It definitely reminded me of those type of stories where there's a town and strange things are afoot, and it's all about finding out what's going on. And I had so much fun reading this. It's such a quick read, 316 pages, but the font is really big and there's a lot of white space. So I read it quick. It gave me a little bit of, I don't know, confidence with my writing or with my reading, because I've been kind of insecure about reading so slow lately. So reading this, I was like, yeah, I'm reading so fast. And it's written that way. It's written quick, get through it quick, and it's enjoyable. I really liked it. I'm definitely going to be reading the next two books within the next couple weeks, maybe next week. The Place Without Shadows and then The Broken Clock. The last thing I'll say is that these editions of these books are amazing. Like, I just think they look amazing. Like, here's the spines. It's like this black with orange lettering and stuff. And the covers have like this like grippy feel on them. And they're just really well made books for a self-published author. And P.T. Hylton did a great job with that. The pages are really thick, and I really like the build of these books. They're built better than most like really popular books that I've read, and I like that about these. So yeah, if this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, check it out. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I think they could be even better. Throw some themes in there, throw some emotional scenes, some connections, and this would be a 5 for me. It would be a 5 because the plot was fantastic. The ideas were fantastic. The imagination being shown is just fantastic, and it's good. I liked it. I give it a 3. I think you guys should check it out. I'll put below links to the first impressions video. That gives the synopsis a little bit more meat if you want more to know about that. And also I have that mini review as well. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.